Hi there, welcome back to ET Now. You're watching Markets at Noon with me, Kanishka Sarkar and Ankur Mishra. Well, time now to put the spotlight on Sarda Energy, which reported a very healthy set of numbers in the quarter gone by on a year-on-year basis, though there's been a little bit of a breather as far as the sequential numbers are concerned. Of course, the seasonality has been a key factor. Stock also is not doing all that well, probably taking that into account. But what transpired in the quarter gone by and what's the outlook going forward? To discuss all of that, we're now joined by P.K. Jain, who's the whole-time director and group CFO at Sarda Energy and Minerals. Hi, Mr. Jain. Thank you so much for joining us today. You know, although numbers look very good on a year-on-year basis, just wanted to understand on a sequential basis, it's been a slightly weak quarter. Is it only because of seasonality or any other factors also at play?
Yeah, good afternoon. This is mainly on account of the seasonality. And the steel market definitely has been slightly poorer in the rainy season. In power also, it has a seasonal effect.
You mentioned about the seasonality factor and the volume of iron ore pellet sales has declined 13% YOY. Now, if I ask you for a bifurcation, how much of it is seasonality? And more importantly, how do you see the remaining quarters to be at play in the current segment?
You see, there are three segments in which we are operating. Mainly one is the steel segment, second is ferroalloy, and third is the power. And power, again, we have two different segments. One is thermal power, another is hydropower. Hydropower based season is rainy season, which is the second quarter. In case of thermal power, the best season is generally from February to June, July. So there are different factors for different segments. For hydropower, best season was rainy season, and for thermal power, this was the weakest season because during the rainy season, the demand for thermal power is on the lower side and prices of the power remains low. Ferroalloys more or less remain constant throughout the year, except on the demand supply scenario based on the global market conditions. So during the first and second quarter, the ferroalloy market remained more or less stable and on the same lines. So far as our profitability and revenue for the second quarter is concerned, it was adversely affected because of one factor, the lower price realization mainly in the thermal power segment and slightly lower price realizations on the steel side.
Understood. Mr. Jain, if you could give us some light on, the revenue share of thermal power and hydropower, just for us to understand. Like you said, it's mostly going to be a constant growth that you are seeing. This quarter, thermal is where we saw a negative impact because of seasonality. But hydro, of course, this was a good quarter as far as hydropower is concerned. So just wanted to understand what is the mix like, and going forward in quarter 3 and 4, which is the segment that is going to drive growth for you?
So far as hydropower is concerned, in the total revenue in the 6 months, hydropower contribution is hardly about less than 300 crores.
Right.
Sorry, that is annual. Sorry. For 6 months, it's about 200 crore plus is the revenue from the hydropower. And annual revenue from the thermal power, we can expect about 2,000 crore plus minus. So hydropower segment is minimal as compared to the in overall scheme of the things, but margins on the EBITDA margin in case of hydropower is in the range of 80%.
Okay, you mentioned about the margins front, which is around 38% if you talk about the current quarter, and YOY basis around 400 basis points uptick is there. I want to understand from you how much of the impact on the margins are there due to the raw material cost, and what is your guidance on the margins for the full year?
So far as margins on the full year concerned, definitely margins will be in case of, because hydropower will be seasonally low in the next half year. So on the hydropower margins will be on lower side. On thermal also, generally third quarter remains a little subdued. So margins as compared to the first quarter, it will be on the lower side. But annually, whatever guidance we have issued, we should be able to achieve or cross that guidance comfortably.
Got it. And so, energy segment that we were discussing, that is continuing to drive growth for you. Is that trend going to continue, or in fact, is it going to register higher growth than your traditional metals business? What's the outlook in terms of sectors?
Definitely, power segment is going to grow from here also. And in last 1 year, if you have seen, it has grown substantially. And in future also, we have 3 more hydropower projects in pipeline. And we are also planning to double the capacity of the thermal power plant at Raigad. So power will be the driving force for our growth.
Could you also throw light on the ongoing CAPEX programs and also the timelines for the commissioning?
So CAPEX is, we have lined up a CAPEX of about 500 to 7 crores every year for next 3-4 years. And majorly it will be going on the 2 segments which has already been frozen. One is the hydropower assets which we are building in. And second is the coal mining assets. We have 4 mines under development. So major CAPEXs are going on the mining side and hydropower project as of now. And so far as major expansion in the thermal power plant is concerned, we are in the process of seeking various approvals, including environmental clearance and all those things. So at least for next 2 years, we do not foresee much of the CAPEX on the thermal power side.
So that will go on the thermal power side. But Mr. Jain, you've registered around 3,200 crores of revenue growth, right, in the first half of this fiscal. Like you said, the seasonality impact will be gone in the second half. So do you think it's going to be a substantially better second half for you? Could you surpass that 4,700 crore rupees level for FY26?
May not be higher than the first half. It should be, because hydropower will not be available in the second half to that extent what we have in the first half.
All right, Mr. Jain, thank you so much for joining with your views on the earnings, and all the very best for the second half.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much.
With this, it's time to take a very quick break, and after the break, a lot coming up.